Buon pomeriggio, beautiful people. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do some meal prep with you because, as I probably mentioned 1,000 times, I'm back to work, and that's one of the main things that I think really set the tone of my whole week. Because if I have to spend time cooking or stressing, or for any reason I have to work until slightly later, or there are trains disruptions and I arrive home late, the last thing personally that I want to do is cook. So yeah, I just really like doing this every single Sunday. As you will see, it will take around an hour or less, and it's absolutely now put down to perfection, in the sense that every single thing I do is sort of like a choreography, so everything has its own moment, so that I can cook, in this case, 4 recipes and have the whole week, Monday to Friday meals, lunch and dinner for 2 people, down to a T, so you don't have to do absolutely anything else. And yeah, it will take an hour. Everything is very much at its own pace. So I think what I'm going to do is link the original recipes, but instead of giving you my modifications per recipe, I think I'm just going to write chronologically what I'm going to do, so that if you want to do exactly what I'm doing, you can follow exactly the same steps with the same quantities and everything. And so that, yeah, everything, as you will see, is very simplified and easy to follow. Because yeah, this is basically what I've been doing every single Sunday for the past month, and it has become a task that is slightly less tedious, slightly less long and boring, and most importantly, I just don't want to spend hours in the kitchen to cook for the whole week. I just want to do it like in 1-2 hours and that's it, done. So yeah, I wanted to share with you this 4 recipes. They're they're not vegetarian or vegan friendly, so yeah, I don't know in that sense how well will suit everyone. But if you have no problem eating meat, then as you will see, it's really different, and the recipes are a little bit less boring and just plain, and you still get the health. They're very good if you're trying to weight loss, or at least maintain in check the amount of proteins and micronutrients you're having. So in that sense, I really think that you're gonna like it. So I'm going to do, first of all, a sweet and sour chicken, which is very different to all the ones I've cooked on my YouTube channel before. It's very much, as I said, simplified. I eliminated loads of steps, and as well, I don't fry the chicken in corn flour anymore. So as you will see, really easy and simple. Then I'm going to do a recipe that I actually discovered not long ago, which is a coconut curry with mince, and it's really nice. It's really easy to cook, as you will see, all in one pot and you're done. And it has some squash in it, which I thought it was really nice, especially now that we are officially in autumn and getting a little bit more cozy and wanting something warm and like that. Then I am going to do just some simple roasted vegetable in the oven, and midway through the cooking I'm going to add some turkey meatballs to them. So again, everything is cooked in one tray, baking tray in this case, and that's it. You just put the meatballs midway and you're done. And then finally, I'm also going to do a tikka chicken, because my partner and I, we like having takeaway, we like having a little bit of an Indian night. However, besides the price, it doesn't go well with our fitness goals, or wanting to be healthy or anything else. So yeah, I cheated. I got a 30% less fat jar of the tikka sauce and cooked it away, and the only thing I did is I added some squash to it because I had it from the other curry. So yeah, I know that not everyone will probably love, but it takes away our craving for a takeaway. It's really tasty, and yeah, I added some onions and squash to give a little bit of veg in that sense. So yeah, those are the 4 recipes. I think I'm just gonna go through the steps. In terms of quantities, everything is going to be in the description box below. As I said, I'm going to write it so that it makes sense when you read it, and then separate you will have the original recipes with all the extra steps, all the extra ingredients in some cases and things like that. So just in case, whichever you want to follow, either way you have it there. So yeah, I really hope you like it. If you do, then please don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and without further ado, let's get cooking. So the first step is to do the little basic thing like switching on the oven just so it gets warmed up for when I finish chopping the veggies and things like that. And second of all, whenever I cook rice, I just put it on straight away so that after 15-20 minutes it will be done. I don't have to think about it, and then my hob is going to be free to cook everything else. So yeah. Number two, what I like to do is prep everything. I'm going to chop every single piece of veg and every single piece of chicken so that I don't have to think about it anymore. And because most of the veg actually are to then be baked in the oven, I will put those straight away in a baking tray so that they're all there, and then we worry about seasoning it later. And then the rest of the recipe, you can just put it in different bowls so that they are very easy to put in the pan at different moments, but they're already all prepped. Once I finished as well the chicken, I will start prepping the only sauce that we have to cook today, which is the sweet and sour sauce, which, as you will see in the description box, is really easy. And then in literally those 15-20 minutes that it took to chop everything up, the rice is going to be cooked, the oven is going to be ready to go, and everything is going to be absolutely organized in that sense. So then when it's time to cook, you just have to put all the veg one at a time, the meat, and you're done. Step number 3 will be to obviously season the veg, which I'm going to put in the oven for the first 20 minutes alone. So usually I just put some olive oil, salt, pepper. I like a little bit of paprika, rosemary, and if you really want some chili and things like that. And I also like to add some garlic cloves literally in the skin. And once I stir everything up, I just put it in the oven, as I said, for the first 20 minutes. And then, as you will see, we will have to add the meatballs later, but that's something we'll do later. So once the veg are in the oven, then it's about time to start warming up the pan, and just put it on the hob with a little bit of olive oil and let it warm up. And then, as you can probably tell, the first thing to do is just to add the onions, and in case of the sweet and sour, just the onion with the peppers, just because I couldn't be bothered to do an extra step there. So yeah, just do the basics, just let it sort of like stir fry a little bit, just up to the moment where the onions are starting to become translucent. And then it's time for the second step, which is adding the second bit of veg. So I will add, in this case, the squash to both the chicken tikka and the coconut curry, just because it takes a little bit longer to cook. So I like to get a little bit, halfway through cooked, brown and things like that. Once the onions are completely translucent and you can tell that the squash is starting to soften up a little bit, it's time to add the chicken to the sweet and sour chicken and to the chicken tikka. So I just liberate the center of the pan and put the chicken there, just because I found out that it sort of speeds up the process of cooking the chicken, and as well it prevents it from being sort of like steamed as opposed to fried, if it makes sense. So yeah, I just found it very useful to just put the chicken alone and just cook it that way. And then at the same time, as you've seen, I have added the grated carrots and courgette to the curry pot. While, as I said, the chicken is cooking, I added the mince to the curry pot, as well as 3 tablespoons of mild curry powder. Step number 7 is, because probably 20 minutes have passed by now, which means that it's time to take the veggies out of the oven, stir them a little bit, and then again put a little bit of space in the middle and add the meatballs there. I usually season them, so again add a little bit of olive oil, salt, if you want a little bit of marjoram or thyme or whatever you have available. Just turn them around a little bit and just stick them in the oven at the same temperature for another 20 minutes, and again you can just forget about them. Step number 8 is to add the liquid. So in this case we will add the tikka sauce from the jar into the first pot of chicken with the squash. I like to add a little bit of water about halfway through the jar, and just that gives a little bit more of liquid and it prevents for getting dry and sticky to the pan. Then I will add the coconut milk to the curry pot. In this case the coconut is a little bit solid, but that's completely fine, and you just add it there and you let it simmer for a little bit more. And then finally you add the sweet and sour sauce that we made at the beginning to the chicken. And whilst the chicken tikka and the sweet and sour chicken are simmering, as you can see, I just focus on the last steps for the curry pot, which are literally just to add crumbled chicken stock, spinach, some tomatoes, and again just stir everything in and let it simmer. And that is literally it. You just let everything simmer through for as long as you want. If you want to do it as long as the timer for the baked veg and meatballs is on, then do it out to then, literally up to you. And then it's just a matter of dividing into portions. put it in all the Tupperwares. As you can see, I only put the rice in the ones for the first day and then for the ones that I'm going to freeze, just because it's a personal preference. But if you want to cook more portions of rice and use them for all the way through, then you can absolutely do that. And that is it. This is everything you need to do to have 4 different recipes for a whole week for 2 people for both lunch and dinner. That's literally it. I think it took everything about 2 hours. I would say the 20 minutes for chopping, 10 for cleaning, then the 40 minutes to cook the things, and then, you know, another 10-15 to prep, to divide into portion and clean again. So the whole thing, 2 hours, and that is it. But yeah, this is everything. This is literally what I do every single Sunday in these steps, in this order, and it literally takes this short amount of time. So I think that is really good, and I think that is going to help a lot of people to start meal prep if they don't like it, because they might think that they have to slave in the kitchen for 5 hours. Nah, I don't like that. I just, as I said, want to spend the least amount of time possible to have everything done. So yeah, I really hope you like it. If you try any of the recipes, please let me know. If it helped you meal prep at all, of course, then please let me know. And also, if you want me to try any more recipes, I will always be open to that. But yeah, so please don't forget to give it a like to this video, subscribe to my little growing but little tiny channel, and hopefully I will see you next time. Ciao!